Good morning. Rise and shine, my friends. Today is Wednesday, May 29th, and this is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Katherine Hobbs. Thank you so much for starting your morning with me. I hope everyone kept safe through yesterday's surge of storms. They're expected to continue across North Texas today and throughout the week with highs in the mid-80s. If you also grew up in the 90s, you probably thought quicksand, the Bermuda Triangle, and mummies would be much more problematic than they've actually turned out to be. I'm not sure why cartoons convinced me that I would contend with all three in my lifetime, but it made for some very good Scooby-Doo episodes, so I am not complaining. While I'm happy to have escaped what I genuinely thought would be huge problems, a team of scientists in Mexico are having some mummy-related issues. Nothing supernatural, but they did accidentally pull off the arm of a 19th century mummy due to mishandling by the staff. There's a bit of infighting and finger-pointing as to who exactly is to blame, but at least there's not an unraveling mummy chasing them around the museum, seeking revenge while they figure it out. Okay, thank you for indulging me on that one. Now, let's unravel the news you need to start your day. Election results are pouring in, and it appears that Dallas County Sheriff Marion Brown has won her runoff race against Lupe Valdez, who also happens to be her former boss. All voting centers are reporting at this point an unofficial result showed that Brown had almost 69% of the votes for the sheriff's race. No Republicans ran for sheriff in the primary, so whoever comes out ahead in the Democratic runoff is the presumptive winner of the November general election. Both Brown and Valdez are groundbreakers in law enforcement in their own right. Brown is the country's first African-American sheriff and among the nation's few African-American female sheriffs. Valdez was the first woman and Hispanic elected sheriff in Dallas County and the country's first openly gay Hispanic sheriff. And for decades, Dallas County was considered a Republican stronghold, almost the exact opposite of what it is today. For all the election results, follow along with our reporting at KERAnews.org. Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins signed a disaster declaration, and the county extended its voting hours last night until 9 p.m. as hundreds of thousands of people remained without power due to severe storms. As of this morning, we still have almost 700,000 people without power in North Texas, and flash flood warnings continue to roll through the region. Several schools and districts remain closed today as well. Authorities are still asking that everyone drive extra carefully today as they work to clear debris from the roadways. Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan has very narrowly won the Republican primary runoff against former Orange County GOP Chairman David Covey. Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider looks at what the results mean for House District 21 and the Texas legislature.
The final results came in shortly after 9 p.m. Out of more than 25,000 votes cast, Dade Phelan led David Covey by fewer than 400 votes, a difference of just over a percentage point. But it was enough to give Phelan the Republican nomination and, since the Democrats didn't put up a candidate in the district, a sixth term in the legislature. Phelan spoke to 12 News at his watch party in Beaumont.
This campaign's been going on for like a year and a half now, and it's maybe the most expensive race in Texas legislative history. I mean, put that in perspective, and what they're spending here in Southeast Texas to unelect me, they did not succeed.
Much of the opposition to Phelan came out of a perception on the right that the speaker hadn't done enough to advance conservative priorities in last year's regular and special sessions. Many Republican voters and several extremely wealthy Republican donors blamed Phelan for the legislature's failure to pass some form of school choice, which Governor Greg Abbott had declared an emergency item. Meanwhile, Covey thanked his supporters at his watch party in Orange but declined to speak to the press. Phelan owes much of his win to his home county of Jefferson, where he led Covey by 2-1, more than enough to outpace Covey's lead in Orange and Jasper counties. Phelan's win came despite support for Covey from former President Donald Trump, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and Attorney General Ken Paxton. Bill Miller is a longtime political consultant whose firm donated to Phelan's campaign.
He beat back an effort by two statewide elected officials and a former president and a likely nominee for president this year. So there were a lot of people wanting to kind of bring him down. And the fact that he won against that opposition is a real credit to him and to the effort that people made on his behalf.
Phelan ran heavily on his record of delivering state funding to his three-county House district, a region known as the Golden Triangle. James Nelson teaches political science at Lamar University.
His biggest accomplishments he's often bragged about on the campaign trail are getting aid for the ports in the area from the state of Texas, also getting the first mental and behavioral health hospital built in the area since the 1960s, as well as reducing the tuition charged by our local community colleges.
Covey was Phelan's first primary challenger since he first won election in 2014.
He's likely to face another primary challenge, so he's going to want, going forward, to be able to brag about similar accomplishments, because that's what helped him out this time.
Nelson says Phelan's win has big implications for the future.
This makes the governor's school choice plan at least a little less likely to pass than it would be had Covey won the election, because, of course, that was one of Covey's key issues.
In the March primaries, Abbott successfully targeted several GOP state reps who opposed school choice, though he remained neutral in the Phelan-Covey contest. Bill Miller says that means the legislature is set to shift further to the right, and Phelan could have a fight on his hands to remain House Speaker.
He's going from one contested race right into another, and that's really the way that's the way they should see it, and that's the way it's really going to happen.
At least one Republican has declared his intention to challenge Phelan for the speakership, State Representative Tom Oliverson of Cypress.
That was Houston Public Media's Andrew Schneider. Well, the Mavs lost Game 4 last night against the Timberwolves, and the Stars are back on the ice tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. Be sure to check that out. It is that time of year again, y'all, and the Dallas County Health and Human Services Department has reported that mosquito samples taken from Cedar Hill have tested positive for West Nile virus. But like most years, there are probably more to come. There are so many summer camps going on in North Texas this year. From arts and crafts to sports, theater, even equestrian camps, there's something for every kiddo's interest. If you're still trying to find the best fit for your child, be sure to check out our list at kera.org/calendar. Thank you so very much for starting your day with me today. I'm so glad you take a few minutes to listen each morning. Be sure to subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA newsletter, also by yours truly at keranews.org, and check us out on Instagram and Threads at KERATF. I'm Katherine Hobbs. We'll chat again tomorrow.